Alright guys, updated Octavia build. A number of changes, a number of tweaks that I did a couple days ago. When it comes to Octavia, I had to reevaluate her when it comes to not just based off her abilities, because I already know her abilities, but as far as with me using her. And when it comes to survival and all that, there's certain things that didn't need to be there. And all I was able to do was to I got rid of Streamline, kept the range there, took off some strength, but more importantly, just add more duration onto her. Because since you could just keep spamming her abilities anyway, it's just gonna come down to duration and how long it just stays out there doing what it needs to do. So you're talking about more damage being done, more enemies getting killed, slaughtered, more energy orbs being dropped for you and your allies. All that stuff will be well and good here as far as with this build that I have. My strongest Octavia build. Energy Siphon, Power Drift, along with Vitality, Augur Message to go along with Constitution and Prime Continuity. Blind Rage and Umbral Intensify is in there. And of course I have Power Drift to go in there as well, as I said earlier. Prime Flow for the energy. Don't need Streamline in there, like I said. Based off of her passive, she keeps replenishing 30 energy for 30 seconds for herself and her allies that are going to be within 15 meters. Arcane Grace is in there should in case I get hit, and she will be able to regenerate as long as Arcane Grace does kick, and it will kick. Guardian is in there in case I get hit, I get that buff for armor. All that's all well and good. Alright, now when it comes to dealing with enemies, like I said, it's going to be pretty much a straight up shoot when it comes to her, because in the end, as long as you are invis, they will damage themselves, they will die, all is well and ends well. So once you have a number of enemies out there, go into your third, right? And then once you are cloaked, throw out the beast and throw that out. They'll start damaging themselves. And as you can see, boom, they will end up being dead. Now, of course, the range will be expanded. The reason why the range will be expanded is because I put out my fourth. Your amp completes the mallet. Once you have your mallet out, you just throw out your fourth to expand the range, and if there were more enemies around, they'll be shooting at the mallet, and of course they will die really, really quick. And since you are invis, they'll be taking more damage since they can't see you and they're damaging themselves. Again, stealth multiplier, all that stuff will be kicking in. Make sure that you're invis. A lot of people like to put this out there and they're not invis. Even though that is out there, make sure that your mallet is out and you are behind your mallet. Make sure you're behind it like this. All right. Do not be in front of your mallet like this, because enemies in front of you will shoot at you. They're not going to prioritize at the mallet anymore, because at that point the mallet will be useless. All right. So make sure that you are behind your mallet. Don't be in front of your mallet like this. Be behind your mallet. All right, and that's when it will start doing what it needs to do, killing enemies, and kill even more enemies. Octavia is really straightforward, and on top of that, she is broken because she doesn't need to fire her weapons in order to deal damage. Her abilities does all of that for you. All right, when it comes to Octavia and her abilities, it's straightforward just by reading this description when it comes down to her abilities. If you want more speed, however, you're going to have to do a little bit of some kind of movement. When it comes to getting multi-shot, you're going to have to shoot to the rhythm. If you want to get your melee damage, you're going to have to melee to the beat. So whatever beat that you customize for your Octavia, you're going to have to dance. You're going to have to melee or shoot to that beat. Resonator, however, just depends on if you're moving from point A to point B. Put your mallet out with your resonator, and of course be invis. As again, being invis is extremely important for Octavia. Mallet, resonator, being invis, run around. The mallet will go with the resonator as well. Enemies will try to catch up to it, shoot at it, kill themselves, all that stuff. It doesn't make sense to have your resonator and have your amp on, and then also with mallet, because I don't know if they fixed it or probably they did, Because normally when you have your mallet out and you throw out your resonator, of course it will expand the range, but if there are enemies around, will it follow along? Okay, so it will. So the range will still be... Oh no, see? The range got decreased. Or did it decrease? Oh no, it's actually there. Okay, so they did fix it. Alright. Because normally when you got your amp, which I threw right here, it has to come back over in order for it to have its range increased. So as you see, there it goes. See, the range got increased. Okay, so I was right. So it really doesn't make much sense to have the amp, which you thrown right here, and you have your resonator and the mallet running around all over the place. So you would decrease the range and the damage multiplier just by having your resonator. So it's not wise to do that. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's not wise to do that. If you're gonna be stationary, don't use your second. If you're gonna be moving around, put your mallet out, and of course your resonator being invisible, of course, and then you could just go around as you so choose, because the enemies will shoot at it. So that's a note to have right there. So as far as with Octavia, man, that is practically the build. A number of tweaks here and there when it comes to the mods, but overall, most of the mods is still there. I just added more duration. The range is still there. All I did is took out Streamline, because as long as you just spam your abilities, if you get the opportunity to spam your abilities, because you're going to get the energy back anyway. And if your allies are within 15 meters, they will get the benefit as well. All right. So this is practically the build for Octavia. I just had to put another form into her as far as with that dash, so I could put Constitution in there. And of course, Constitution is good for Octavia. Should in case you get knocked down, Constitution will help you in that aspect. All right. 40% faster knockdown recovery is sweet. All right. So that's my build for Octavia. Let me know what you guys think as far as with Octavia in my updated build for her. All right. Later.